Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I post true crime content like this every single week. So if that's something you're interested in, press subscribe and let's get into the case. So today we're going to be talking about the Zachary Davis case, also known as the Sledgehammer Killer. This case starts in 2012 in Tennessee when Zachary was 15 years old. Zachary was born to his parents, Melanie and Chris Davis. Melanie was actually born in Australia. She was very active, she was a triathlete and worked as a paralegal. Chris and Melanie had met and then they had a son called Josh, and then about a year and a half later Zachary Davis was born. At the age of 9, Zachary began to struggle with his mental health. He was even admitted to a psychiatric unit to receive treatment. When he left, his mother was trying to put him back into school and raise her 2 boys, and also mourn the loss of her husband, as he had died when Zachary was also 9 years old. Other students that grew up with Zachary said that he was quiet and that he didn't talk to anybody and that he had no friends. Some said that they tried to talk to him, but he would just stare at his phone and would rarely make eye contact with other people. It was said that he also wore the same hoodie every single day, and that if he ever did talk to another student, it would be in a very low whisper. So if he was going to talk to anyone, instead of saying hi, he'd be like, hi. So in a deep whisper rather than like actual conversation. His brother Josh was the complete opposite of him. He was popular, had lots of friends, girlfriends, and he was on the football team. He was very well liked, whereas Zachary was just a bit of a loner. Zachary began to struggle with his mental health. It is said that when he was 11, he was diagnosed with psychosis and major depressive disorder, and that he was on medication and was receiving treatment with a psychiatrist in a mental hospital. This doctor came forward saying that his mother took him out of treatment after only 4 visits. And at around this time he had also been telling his mother, Melanie, that he was hearing voices. He said that he heard his father Chris talking to him at night, but his father was dead at the time, so... On August 10th, 2012, Melanie took both of her sons to the cinema to watch a movie. They watched a comedy called The Campaign. They laughed and were having a good time. Josh, Zachary and Melanie all got home and went into their rooms. Melanie was going to sleep as she was tired from working the whole week. What she didn't know was that her youngest son Zachary was planning her murder. Zachary began packing items into his backpack. He then went into the garage, grabbed a sledgehammer and walked into Melanie's room. He stood there watching her for a moment. He then picked up the sledgehammer and began to beat his mother over the head. He just kept hitting and hitting her, blood spraying everywhere. He also says he remembers a chunk of Melanie's brain hitting him on the arm, and he didn't even care. He just kept hitting her. He also admitted that as he was brutally bludgeoning his mother to death, that he was laughing. He says that in the attack, Melanie woke up, but she couldn't speak and began to seize. After he had hit his mother around 20 times, he went and gathered supplies, walked back to his mother's body, and then set her room on fire. He then closed the door and walked out of the house and just down the road. Meanwhile, in the house, Joshua had woken up to the smell of smoke. He went into his mother's room and saw his poor mother murdered and the room was on fire. He called the police and they arrived, and after 5.5 hours they found Zachary walking down the road. They picked him up and took him to the police station for questioning. He instantly confessed to what he had done. He told them that he had murdered his mother. When they asked him why, he gave multiple reasons. He claims that Melanie wasn't taking care of him, or that his deceased father had told him to do it. Remember, he said he heard his father talking to him at night, so he claims his father told him to do it because she wasn't being loyal. He also said he set the house on fire in hopes of killing his brother Joshua as well, and when the police asked him why he wanted to kill his brother, he claimed his brother had sexually assaulted him. He said that a while ago, him and his brother were wrestling, and that Josh had forced himself on top of Zachary and raped him. And when he told his mother, she began to yell at him because she didn't believe him. And when the police asked him if he could have done anything differently, he said that he wished he had killed his brother first and then killed his mother. Many people said that they believed he was not mentally stable to stand trial. Others said that he was mentally stable and that he was just putting on a show and that he was just pure evil. At his trial, he had put in a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, but at his trial, he shocked everybody, including his own legal team, when he was brought up to the stand to give his motive for the murder. He said that he didn't commit the murder at all. He said that he never killed her and that he was covering up for his brother Joshua, which no one believes because it was pretty obvious that Zachary had done it, and his legal team must have been pretty shocked because they absolutely knew he did it and were trying to get off with an insanity plea. He was found guilty by the jury. He was given a life sentence, but in Tennessee that meant he only got 50 years, so his sentence was then extended to 71 years. Joshua was also questioned about the accusations made against him by Zachary, and he said that that was the first time he had heard about that, and that he loved his brother and would never and had never sexually assaulted him. Zachary later said that his biggest struggle in prison is actually sleeping. He says that his father still talks to him at night. When he did his interview with Dr. Phil, he would laugh and snicker at certain questions, and he clearly had no remorse for what he had done. Now, his laughing could have been an uncomfortable laugh. I know I have an uncomfortable laugh. But when Dr. Phil asked him why he was laughing, he said that he was embarrassed. So it could have been an embarrassed laugh, but it's still a bit disturbing. Personally, I think that he was just mentally disturbed. And I wonder if his mother hadn't taken him out of treatment after the 4 visits then, and then if he continued to receive treatment, then his illness would have been treated and he would have received the help he needs, and then the outcome would be different, if that makes sense. Comment down below if you think he was mentally ill or whether he was just pure evil, because it could be either way. I'll also link the Dr. Phil interview down below if you want to see that. So that's the end of this case. If you've enjoyed this, like and subscribe to my channel. I also have a podcast which I'll put on screen here. It's called Murder Mystery with Brandon Brooker. It's only available on Spotify, so I'll leave that on the screen and down below. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.